Hi, passionate Rangers FC fans, welcome to Rangers Update, your dedicated source for all things Rangers. Before we dive in, we want to express our gratitude for your unwavering support. If you bleed blue, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and let's strengthen our community. Now, let's get into the latest updates. A hearty welcome to our new followers. Your backing means the world to us. Wap, let's get to the news. You could feel the temperature shift at Ibrox this week, and no, it wasn't the weather. We're talking pure unrest in the stands behind the scenes, and no unordered fan forums you can imagine. John SOUTTAR eyed a centre-back. We hoped would be a rocking defense this season has stirred up a right hornet's nest. It had kicked off after his decision to put Scotland duties ahead or pre-season commitment with Rangers. Now, don't get me wrong, representing your country's a massive honour. But when your club's paying you week in, week out, and when the season's about to start priorities, pal, they need to be crystal clear. The reaction explosive. Fans chanting at open training, online abuse, even calls for SOUTTAR to be dropped entirely from the squad. It's mental how fast a hero can turn into a villain in Govan. But the thing is, this wasn't just a one-off decision. It's part of a growing concern among supporters that certain players didn't quite grasp what it means they wear. The blue jersey, they feel the weight of that crest and they bleed for the cause when the time comes. What makes this even juicier is the timing. We're days away. For key fixtures, we've got a league campaign that's looking tighter than ever, and now we've got distractions. SOUTTAR, instead of battling to get into top shape for Rangers heads after they join the Scotland camp, a move that's been viewed by many as selfish, short-sighted, and worse, disloyal. The argument for a SOUTTAR side is fair enough. He's been working hard, wants international exposure, wants to cement his place in Steve Clarke's plans. But the truth is, Rangers fans are fed up with players putting individual glory above the collective fight. There's a feeling brewing that some of these boys didn't really understand the club's soul. When a man like SOUTTAR, who struggled with injuries and been given the time and patience by the club and fans alike, turns his back when it matters most, that's when the knives come out. And trust me, they're out in force right now. One voice on Rangers Twitter summed it up perfectly. If you want off, you go. It's a simple sentiment, but packed with years of frustration. Rangers fans didn't mind effort. In fact, they love a grafter, someone who puts in the shift no matter what's on the line. But what they can't stand is the idea that the club's being used as a stepping stone, or worse, being disrespected. SOUTTAR's choice to head after international duty instead of locking in with a squad has raised questions about his mindset. Does he see Rangers as a platform to get noticed? Is he really in it for the badge or just for the exposure? These are the questions being whispered in pubs, roared on podcasts, and debated across every corner of the Rangers community. And let's not forget, this is a player who's yet to truly cement himself as indispensable in the lineup. So why take liberties? What really stings for the supporters is the context. We're coming off a season where unity was the difference between silverware and heartache. The last thing anyone wanted was internal division this early. SOUTTAR's decision sends the wrong message, no just to the fans, but to the rest of the squad. Imagine being a younger lad in our dressing room, looking up to the seasoned pros for leadership and example, and you see one of them dipping out for national duty at a crucial moment. It sets a tone, and no a guide one. The pressure this season is immense. Celtic arena is slowing, and Aberdeen are spending, and hearts are smelling blood. Rangers need to be laser focused. But instead, we're dealing with headlines about a centre-back chasing caps while his teammates grinding pre-season heat. It's no wonder the supporters are seeing red. But here's the twist. Some insiders say this wasn't just SOUTTAR's call. There's chatter. And mind you, it's only chatter at this stage that Steve Clarke himself pushed for SOUTTAR's inclusion despite quiet pleas for a Rangers staff to let the lad stay put. If that's true, we could be looking at a club's country road brewing under the surface. Remember, this is neither the first time the Scotland setups clashed with Rangers over player availability. It's a tale as old as time. National pride versus club loyalty. But in this instance, SOUTTAR had the option to politely decline to focus on club matters to put Rangers first. He chose otherwise. And in the court of public opinion, especially within the blue half of Glasgow, that's a cardinal sin. The damage already done. Add to that the fact SOUTTAR's performances last season were, let's be honest, hit and miss. Injuries, inconsistency, moments of brilliance followed by baffling lapses. He's nay in a position to be taking liberties with the fans' goodwill. Folk were just starting their warm to him again, seeing potential, hoping this season will be the one where he delivers consistently. And then this. It's almost like he's undone months of graft with one ill-timed decision. And while the official line for Rangers is that they're supporting the players' ambitions, behind the scenes, there's talk of stern conversations being had. There has to be. You can't let this kind of thing slide, or you lose the dressing room, lose the fans, and worse, lose the fight before it even begins. Now let's talk replacements. We SOUTTAR often fan confidence in him tanking pressures, mounting on the gaffer to find alternatives. There's chatter about Ben Davies stepping up Taco Academy lads, getting their shot, and even the possibility of a late transfer move if the board feels things are getting out of hand. The SOUTTAR incident might just force hands, and that could be a blessing in disguise. Sometimes it takes a shake-up to spark real change. But still, you didn't want this kind of chaos right before kickoff. We should be buzzing for the season, not worrying about distractions and drama. And the big question lingers, can SOUTTAR win the crowd back, or has he burned his bridges for guide? The final twist in this first part of the story is that SOUTTAR himself hasn't said much. A few vague comments in the press, some generic social media posts, but no apology, no explanation. And in Glasgow, silence can be deafening. The fans want honesty, passion, commitment. Right now, they feel betrayed. And until SOUTTAR steps up, speaks up, and maybe even proves himself on the pitch, he'll be in the firing line. For now, the words echoing across Govan are clear as day. If you want, off you go. But maybe, just maybe, there's still time to turn things around. We'll just need to wait and see how deep the damage really goes. And just when you thought it couldn't get any spicier, the rumor mill's starting to churn at full tilt. Word spreading that certain figures inside Ibrox are privately fuming. No just with SOUTTAR, but with the SFA as well. There's murmurings that Rangers feel disrespected, overlooked, even undermined by how this whole Scotland callop was handled. Apparently, there was no proper communication they compromise offered, and to make things worse, other clubs reportedly had players pulled for the squad to stay with their teams. But no Rangers, no SOUTTAR, it's leaving a bitter taste. The narrative's shifting for a lad chasing his dream to a pawn in a bigger game. If these rumors have legs, we could see a serious escalation. There's already whispers that Rangers might formally address this with the SFA. A storm's brewing, and it's bigger than one player. Let's not pretend this is just about SOUTTAR either. This taps into a deeper, longer-standing gripe that Rangers fans have had with the national setup. How many times have players been rushed back too soon? How often have we seen guys pick up knocks at Scotland camps and miss key club games? There's a narrative that the SFA treats Rangers like second-class citizens, whether that's true or no. The perception is real and perception matters. SOUTTAR's decision has acted like a spark in a dry field. It's lit up old tensions, reminded everyone of past grievances and stirred emotions that were never really settled. And now with fans calling for stronger club policies and even refusals to release players unless absolutely necessary, this could be the start of a wider resistance. One thing's for sure, SOUTTAR's name's gonna keep popping up in these discussions, like it or no. There's also this theory floating about that SOUTTAR is looking for an exit, a move, maybe even abroad. Folk are digging through interviews, body language, even who he follows on Instagram to find clues. It sounds daft, but in football, every wee detail gets magnified. And you can bet there might be something to it. A few agents reportedly sniffing around a couple English championship clubs watching his situation. Suddenly his commitments, no, just a question for the Scotland camp. It's a question for the transfer window. Would SOUTTAR walk if the right offer came in? Would Rangers even fight to keep him? These are questions hanging heavy in the air. And when fans start wondering if a player's got one foot out the door, the mood shifts quick, very quick. And while we're on the subject of loyalty, let's talk locker room dynamics. This kind of controversy doesn't happen in a vacuum. Players talk, reactions fly. And according to sources close to the squad, there's a split. Some support SOUTTAR, saying he's earned the right to follow his international ambitions. Others no so forgiving. There's reportedly tension, awkwardness, even some raised voices during training. If true, it's something the manager has to handle carefully. Team spirit's fragile at the best of times, and when drama hits before the season even starts, it can derail everything. The question now is whether SOUTTAR's return to the club fold will be smooth or icy. We'll find out soon enough. But as one insider put it, the atmosphere is changing. You can feel it. Now here's where things start to get properly wild. According to one source close to the club, and I'll stress again, this is pure rumor, but it's catching fire fast. John SOUTTAR's camp has apparently been reaching out to certain media figures trying to control the narrative. We're talking soft interviews, being lined up, carefully worded statements, being drafted, even the possibility of a tell-all podcast appearance. Can you believe it? It's like the lads planning a PR comeback while the fans are still raging. And you ken how that goes with the Rangers faithful. They can smell spin a mile away. The idea that SOUTTAR might try to play the victim or paint himself as misunderstood is already rubbing folk the wrong way. Supporters are saying, don't give us excuses, just show us commitment. If this really happens, if SOUTTAR goes down that road instead of facing the music directly, it could backfire badly. You can't polish a badge if you're not wearing it proudly, and that's the issue. This whole thing feels orchestrated now, like he's trying to fix the fallout without actually owning up to it. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. And it's no just the fans. Speaking out now, former players, pundits, even ex-captains are weighing in on the drama. A few well-known names in Scottish football have already hinted ever so slightly that they think SOUTTAR's timing was poor to say the least. One even said, back in my day, you wouldn't dare skip preseason with Rangers unless your leg was hanging off. It's that kind of old school mentality that still resonates deeply with the supporters. When legends start commenting, you can it's serious. There's a feeling among the Rangers' old guard that standards are slipping. They're looking at this generation of players and asking, do they truly get it? SOUTTAR's incident is being used as the prime example. A case study in how modern footballers can sometimes lose sight of the fight, the passion, the duty. And when those voices start speaking publicly, that pressure multiplies tenfold. He's not just dealing with online flag anymore. Now the icons are watching too. But didn't count SOUTTAR out yet. There's a flip side to all this. And some folk, a small quieter group, are saying, wait, let's hear the lad. Out! These supporters believe there might be more to the story. Maybe SOUTTAR was promised something by the national team. Maybe there were deeper discussions with the club or a misunderstanding that spiraled. And to be fair, if that's true, then the boy's been caught in the crossfire of poor communication and high expectations. There's even speculation, again just whispers, that SOUTTAR has been carrying a knock and the national team staff wanted to assess him directly. If that's the case, it changes things. But until he opens up, it's our just theory. Still, this wee pocket of supporters cling to the idea that SOUTTAR can bounce back, apologize properly, and get his high done. They're saying the season's long and a few solid performances could rewrite the narrative. But that's a dangerous bet in a city like Glasgow, where memories are long and forgiveness is earned no given. Meanwhile, inside the dressing room, some players are reportedly looking at the gaffer for guidance. Clement's got a tough task here. He needs to manage egos, maintain unity, and somehow protect the player while also respecting the feelings. Oh, the fans, that's no easy balance. Imagine trying to keep the squad focused when every press conference is filled with questions about one man. Some say Clemens already had a closed-door meeting with SOUTTAR. Serious tone, no-nonsense talk, expectations laid out in black and white. If true, it shows the club's trying to put a lid on this before it grows arms and legs. But Clement can only do so much. At the end of the day, it's up to SOUTTAR to win back the trust through actions, no words. Otherwise, the manager's job gets even harder. Because if the results start to slip, you best believe the SOUTTAR saga will be dragged back up with vengeance. Now here's a fresh twist floating through the grapevine. Apparently SOUTTAR's camp is also worried about his place in the team. No just Scotland, we're talking Rangers. Word is he suspects he's sliding down the pecking order, especially with some new faces coming in and younger lads pushing hard in training. If that's true, his call to join Scotland might have been a strategic move. a way to stay relevant, grab attention, remind everyone he's still in the picture. But if that's the case, it's a risky play, because trying to stay in the spotlight while losing fan support, that's like trying to run across the Clyde with lead boots. It just doesn't end well. Football moves fast, and if SOUTTAR is no careful, he could find himself benched. No just physically, but emotionally. Benched by the club and fans alike. And in Glasgow, once you're out of favour, it's a long road back. Behind closed doors, there's apparently serious talk of rebuilding trust. It sounds corporate, but it's the term being thrown around. The club's aware of this, has shaken a chunk of the fan base, and they're allegedly drawing up plans for how to manage SOUTTAR's reintegration. That could mean more community appearances, a focus on charity work, maybe even a public Q&A. It's all PR strategy at this point. But here's the thing, the fans can smell manufactured sincerity. If SOUTTAR's gonna come back into the fold, he needs to be real, he needs to show fire, grit, heart, no smiles for the camera. The blue half of Glasgow respects blood, and sweat not rehearsed redemption arcs. And if the club overplays its hand trying to smooth things, or they risk making things worse, sometimes silence does more damage than truth. And the longer this drags on, with a clear statement, fresh the man himself, the more folk will make up their own truths. And if all that Wisney enough, guess who's apparently monitoring this entire situation? Closely, Celtic fans. Are you heard? Me. The green side's loving every minute of this drama, and you can bet they're ready to win it up when the old firm comes round. SOUTTAR is going to be a target. Chance banners the lot. And the sad truth is, he might have handed them the perfect ammunition. Rangers fans are already bracing for it. Imagine the noise, the pressure, the spotlight when he steps onto the pitch at Parkhead or even at Ibrox. If he cracks under that, it'll be brutal. But if he thrives, if he rises to the challenge and silences the doubters, then maybe, just maybe, this whole mess could be flipped into a comeback story. It's in his hands now. But the clock's ticking. So here we are, John SOUTTAR, once hailed as a potential defensive anchor, now stuck in the middle of a PR storm, a fan revolt, and possibly a career-defining moment. He can either face up, show courage, fight for the badge, and win back the hearts of the Ibrox faithful, or fade out quietly remembered as the lad who put country before club and never recovered. The next few weeks are massive for him, for Rangers, and for the season ahead. Because as it stands, the fans still whisper the same thing. If you want, off ye go. And they mean it. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comment section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.